Hey everyone, what is the crack? This week we are in Donington and we're driving the F3 on Tuesday and the DTM on Thursday. I'm going to do a flying hot lap for my first section, not going to pause it or anything, going to just fly straight through the lap, try and commentate over it. Then for the second section I'm going to break it down into smaller pieces, analyse each corner turn by turn. For the third part I'm going to look at racecraft, areas of the track where you can and can't pass, stuff like that. And for the fourth part I'm going to look at setup. So I'm going to try and keep it nice and brief today. Let's dive straight into it. So as always, the last corner is really important. In Donington, take it really wide. So it's kind of an unnatural line, but try and get that drive up the straight. It's perfectly legal as long as you just stay on the track. But it gives you that extra 2/10 or so on the straight. Feel free to go with one wheel over the pit lane exit. In some leagues it's not allowed. Now you see on this lap I actually completely messed up, so there's plenty of time left in this lap, and I'll go into more detail on how to take the first corner out the right way as well. Here's 6th gear, really fast. I'm running a fairly high aero setup. Again, I'll cover that in the setup section. Here, just when the curb ends on the left, slam on the brakes, down 2 gears, grab some of this curb on the right. I've lowered my ARB so that I can ride that curb a little bit. Down 1 gear to 5th, or actually stay in 5th here. And when you catch that sweetly, once you regain grip, accelerate out of the corner. It's really nice. Keep an eye out for the 100 marker here. So just after the 100 marker, down 1 gear only. This is the 5th gear corner. It's way faster than you might think. That's where people are gaining the time. Brake just before the 100 marker. Again, I went way too wide here, had a bit of a lock up. That's the end of the lap. It's a pretty short lap, and we're going to be doing a lot of them. And here, this is the more natural line now. Again, I went maybe slightly wide, but it is a nice late apex. That's my 119.9, I think it was. Yeah, 119.9. So let's analyze that in a bit more detail. So up start, finish straight. As I say, last corner, try and get as long a run, accelerate as early as possible up the straight. Now, you might have heard me say that you're allowed to go over, in our league, you are allowed to go over the white line as long as you have 2 wheels on the track surface. This is a hot topic in a lot of areas, in a lot of forums and stuff like that, whether you're allowed to use this area or not. As long as there are 2 wheels on the track, you are allowed to use it in our league. So don't worry about that. What you really want to do is, and where I usually brake, is around here. So if you look at the markers on the right hand side, and I actually use the end of the Ghost Island here, the green, the end of that as my brake marker. I brake just slightly after that. Try braking a straight line, 4th gear, and really power. So where it went wrong for me was right at this moment. I just understeered, and maybe I turned in slightly too early, or else I put on the power too early. I think it's a mixture of both, and I ended up kind of over rotating it here. Really lost. I must have lost 3/10 there. Flat out down the straight, this part of the track. This is a 6th gear corner. You see that the turn in is super important. I go all the way out onto the curb on the left, no brake, and just turn in and see where the front of that car goes, and try and catch that curb on the right, catch the curb on the left, and power out of here. I must actually start saying the names of the Schwantz curve. Down 2 corners, or down 2 gears, down to 4th, and you start braking right at the end. There's actually a 100 marker here. They've 1 dash is 100, so I brake just after that. You can see my pedal inputs. Brake just after that, down 2 gears, turn in, try carry a lot of speed through there. This is a very tricky corner. Stay in 5th, brake slightly, catch that curb. Ideally, as far as I'm concerned anyway, you want to catch some of that curb. So if you see right out to this curb, turn in, catch some of that curb, and you don't want to catch the outer curb on the left hand side. If you catch that curb on the outer left hand side, it tightens too much, you're probably going to get dragged off into the dirt. So try and take that line. I think that's the best line. I'm open to correction. Look out for the 100 marker, and after the 100 marker, so I'd say it's probably close to the 50 marker actually. 5th gear. Now that might look like a tremendous cut, but if you look from outside, 2 wheels on the track, 2 wheels on the track, just about. I'm open to taking some abuse for that one in the comments. Ah, that back wheel is clearly still on the tarmac. Maybe not so clearly. It's on the white line. That should be good enough. And then power. You've a lot of speed here. Brake just before the 100 marker. I probably braked slightly too late there. So I did brake. That is where I usually brake. I think it was probably just the lock up. You should be way tighter to that curb on the right. Accelerate out here. Look for the curb on the right. As soon as you see that curb on the right, just after it, brake, turn in, and accelerate out here. I could have done better in that corner as well. Plenty of mistakes. Good time in my opinion. It's my best lap so far. Really hard to put a proper lap together on this track. So that's the analyzed hot lap. The next part, racecraft. I'm going to go quite quickly through this section. Obviously on this straight, people are going to get beside you. Once they're beside you, you really don't want to be going too wide into this corner. And down here, people are going to probably get beside you. You can carry quite a lot of speed through here, but the problem is if you're battling here, someone comes up behind you, they can get a far better drive out and they can actually catch you here or pass you out. So it's a very tricky track to pass on. That's kind of so the main straight is the main place where I can see people overtaking. You can punish mistakes in this corner, but more so I think this is the other overtaking area of the track. If you get a good drive out of that corner, super important, practice the hell out of it. Get your drive up here. Try and get on the inside of someone on the left hand side. If you are on the left hand side, as you can see, you can carry some speed, but if there was someone on my left, I wouldn't be able to. There's quite a lot of runoff in this curb as well, on the right hand curb. But if there's someone on my left, they would have the racing line effectively. If they've already won the position if they are on my left at that stage. So don't allow people to get on your left. If you have to move over a couple of meters and then take the corner slightly slower, because once you're in that corner, once you're, I guess, pretty much here, nobody's going to be able to pass you out. So just get yourself into the middle of the track earlier, and you are going to be slightly slower here, but so be it. Nobody's going to be able to pass you. And again, don't mess up in the last corner. This is the grip coming out of the last corner. You're going to see lots of people completely wobbling out of this corner. So some of the things that I've done setup wise, and I'll just pause it there, no need to play the lap again. Setup wise, some of the things that I've done is I've lowered the ARB. I have a link to the setup in the comments, in the description below. I've lowered the ARB. I'm running really high aero. I find it nice and stable and pretty forgiving. What else have I done? Just tire pressures, and this is a low fuel run, as all my track guides tend to be. But this setup feels pretty good with race fuel as well. That's about it from me. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit subscribe, and if you want to be notified, hit the little bell. And if you don't want any of that nonsense, and you have made it this far in the video, please do hit like. When you hit like, it makes my videos rate slightly higher, so more people get to see it. And I'm trying to grow my channel, as is everyone, but I'd really appreciate it. So thanks a million for watching, and cheers, and I will see you on Tuesday night. Bye bye.